This last Monday, everybody, Kendra and I, we went into Canada, went into Windsor, told the guy at the gate, we said we need to talk to immigration and get a permanent thing here. So that I said I've got my papers with me that I went to treatment and all these things. And I even had a letter from my counselor. And anyway, we get in there and this lady, I wish I had the papers. I didn't get them up, Vanessa. I was going to make copies and show people this lady because I wanted to put her name out there. This lady had so much hate when she seen it was me. It was unreal. The hate that came out of her was absolutely beyond anything I've seen. We were detained a couple hours. They brought me in an interrogation room. She called me a criminal at least 20 times trying to get me to get upset. She goes, "You're a criminal. You're a thief. You're an assaulter. She just kept going on and on. And I'm sitting there going, okay, what's going on? Then she goes, "I know who you are. I know who you are." And I go, "But don't think I'm treating you any different than any other criminal." And I'm going,
Wow.
"I'm quite sure you are treating me a little different." and that was about that. That's about as bad as it got where I said that. And she couldn't get me a rise out of me. I've been in terrible situations like this before. But she said, "You were not allowed to come into Canada, and now you're trying to break into Canada." This is what she's telling me. "We are going to keep you, detain you, and not let you leave Canada." And this is what she was saying to me. "We're not going to let you leave." They were going to take me in for sure away. I don't know about Kendra. And I'm going, and then I had those papers on my phone. I had copies of them because she was asking me, and I said, "Here," and I pulled them up and I showed her. I said, "This is what they told me to do a year ago in Canada." And she says, "I can keep you for indefinitely." You're a criminal. You're a criminal. She kept telling me that. And it was disgusting, everybody. It was a full-blown attack. And then I told her, I said, I said, if this has anything to do with what you're seeing in the news on these tariffs, because remember this was last Monday, I said, Trudeau actually attacked my pillow, you guys, back in the day, and put a 25% tariff on my pillow products. And by the way, it's still on all bedding products going into Canada. But he told me back then when we got into it, this is about 7 years ago, he said, "If my pillow builds a plant in Canada, we won't tariff you." And put this tariff on. So by then I was real big on the shopping channel all over Canada. My pillow was. We built our plant and made them up there. We didn't have to pay the tariff. Well, that lasted a couple. Biggest selling product at the shopping channel in history, and all over Canada. And guess then what happens is the Canadian shopping channel in all of Canada cancels my pillow. Okay, they just canceled this like all the other box stores have done, and it was disgusting. They actually did it right after we got the China virus, and so we went through all that to do that. But I guess what I'm getting at here is, you guys, the attacks that led up. It was a very scary situation when you're sitting there at the mercy of this hateful lady, this border guard, and because she's got it in for that I want to secure our elections, or that I have our great president Donald Trump's back, and we came within that. I still, Kendra and I were over the side. She came out of the interrogation room after an hour or so, and we're sitting there, and she basically walked out, left her spot, then came back, and she goes, "Sign these." I didn't even know what I was signing. I'm going, and I knew not to even ask what, and I'm going, "Okay." And she goes, if you want to get out of Canada or to be released, you need to sign these." I don't even know what I signed, but I was forced to sign these, so I'm out of Canada. The moral of the story is, I don't know how the fishing trip's going to go this year when we leave in a couple months to try and go to Canada. But that was
Well,
on
hopefully
Monday,
you won't get the same lady. I hope you got her name and her information, so that way if you want to turn her in the way you were treated, you can do so.
Well, no, I do have all that, and I was going to put it up. Actually, I was going to put it up publicly here. I am going to do that. It was disgusting.